Why no one wants to fight Khamzat Chimaev and Donald Cerrone is doing steroids? What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today of course we're going to be back just talking about two news topics that don't deserve its own video. But anyway, guys, if you guys haven't clicked that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. And also Q&A is coming up on Thursday. Please give questions already. All you got to do is comment below and let me know any questions you want to ask me, whether it's about MMA, personal stuff, and I'll answer it. Now, before this video starts, I think it would be very disrespectful to not mention the death of Stephan Bonnar. This guy is an MMA legend, MMA Hall of Famer, and with no exaggeration, because of him, the UFC and MMA as a whole wouldn't be where it is because of him. Dana White even attributes his fight with Forrest Griffin on the finale of The Ultimate Fighter to why the UFC is big today, and it actually saved the UFC. He died at such a young age, at 45 years old, so rest in peace, and we'll be praying for him and his family. So as a fan of the UFC and MMA, I just want to thank Stephan Bonnar for all of he's done for the sport, and let's continue with the video. Alright, Khamzat Chimaev. We don't even need an introduction for this guy. I mean, this guy is the scariest welterweight right now in the division if you're not talking about Shavkat. Everyone besides Gilbert Burns he has teared through, and Gilbert Burns he still beat. I mean, the guy's wrestling is extremely top notch, and his striking is getting really good as well. The guy hits hard, and he's very big for the welterweight division. I mean, the guy literally weighed in 8 pounds over the limit last time. So the guy is definitely a threat to people like Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, and Colby Covington. And with that being said, the guy is looking to get matched up again. The guy is looking to fight at 170 pounds to get closer to that title shot and fight the winner of Leon versus Usman. Now, because Khamzat is so new that there really isn't a limitation of who he could fight, he hasn't fought a lot of the top guys. He really got shot to that Gilbert Burns fight. And Khamzat's a guy that likes to fight often. He's a guy that likes to be busy, and he's accepted fights literally on 10 days notice before. He has fought twice in the 10-day span. He likes to fight, and he's extremely good at it as well. The UFC has offered him a whole bunch of different names because people keep declining to fight him. And yes, Khamzat is an extremely risky fight. I know some people really believe that Colby would just run through him, but I'm not very convinced. But Khamzat reveals that the UFC is trying to get him to fight on March 5th in Las Vegas on the UFC pay-per-view card, most likely to be headlined by John Jones and Francis Ngannou. But they want Khamzat on that card, and who is he gonna fight? Well, we don't have an answer, but we're gonna talk into who I think declined the fight and who I think he's gonna fight next. Dana White has made it clear that he's looking to get Colby a fight, that he's been trying to get Colby a fight, so I think it's pretty safe to say that he tried to get Colby to fight Khamzat. Now, whether this is because of the legal issues or some sort of injury that basically was caused from the assault of Masvidal, I have a whole video talking about the updated what's going on with that, when the trial is, etc. I'll put it up in the corner, but I don't think Colby will be able to, because look, his trial is at the end of February, so it's going to be hard to have a fight camp around that time. So most likely if Colby was going to fight anytime soon, it would have been January, so it might be out until early summer. So Colby unfortunately is a no-go, and Khamzat has made it clear that he wants to fight at 170 pounds. Obviously Leon Edwards is the champion. He's gonna be fighting Kamaru Usman. They're out. Jorge Masvidal, same situation with Colby Covington. So who's left? Well, I think I have a contender that could fight Khamzat, and I'm talking about, remember the name, Belal Muhammad. Yes, Belal Muhammad, who's coming off of that TKO win against Sean Brady that I think really impressed people and showed how legit this guy really is. Now, a lot of people talk shit about Belal and this and that, but I respect Belal a lot because the guy will show up to fight the toughest of the tough. He accepted to fight Leon Edwards on I think like 2 weeks notice or something like that. Got extremely fucked in that whole situation with the eye poke, and in my opinion was very disrespected in that whole situation. I mean, I felt like that there was no respect at all, that this guy took the fight on this short of notice and there really was no reward for it. I mean, he just fought Damian Maia after that. And let's be real, if anybody else deserves a title shot, it's Belal or Khamzat, except for Usman, of course. But those are the two top contenders, right? And I think that Khamzat, if we're talking about like technically at a place where he necessarily deserves a title shot, he beat Gilbert Burns, and look, if this was anybody else, I think most people would be like, okay, give him another fight, give him another fight. And two, most importantly, the guy showed up 8 pounds overweight in his last fight. I don't want to reward that behavior, which is a title shot. Get him and Belal 170 in March. Belal's already said that he is down. Now let's see if Khamzat's down. Donald Cerrone is taking steroids. What's going on with that? Obviously, we all know Donald Cerrone. He is a legend in MMA. I mean, the guy holds so many records. You can't do nothing but respect Donald Cerrone. Now, obviously, he had his retirement fight last July and left the UFC. And in his post-fight interview, he said he was going to get fat and that was going to be that. But it turns out that although he wants to eat junk food and this and that, he still wants to maintain a good form because the guy is jacked. And let's just say it's not exactly natty. You see, Donald Cerrone confirmed on Instagram that he's actually taking steroids. And no shame here, because honestly, the reason I wanted to talk about this isn't just because of Donald Cerrone, but I wanted to talk about more of this ideal that steroids are terrible. Look, of course, if you're in the UFC and you're cheating and taking steroids, that is extremely wrong. him because there's so many different things that could hurt you. I mean, that's dangerous. I mean, look at Michael Bisping and Vitor Belfort if you want to talk about examples of how steroids could hurt you. You're having an unfair advantage in a hand-to-hand combat. It's not fair, and it's dangerous for the other person because they don't know. So of course in that circumstance it's wrong. But in this circumstance, Donald Cerrone is extremely old now, and he's a guy that, you know, let's be real, he's not going to be able to perform as well as he used to be. You know, you see people like Joe Rogan talk about this all the time, how he's on steroids. It's because they're older. Yes, I mean, there are some funny examples of people using steroids. In this scenario, you know, I think it's super interesting, and it brings up a very important dialogue that people have been having, especially lately, especially people like Joe Rogan, about the use of steroids when you're older. Anyway, guys, it's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, let me know what other videos, like I said, Q&A coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one.